This is the El Donzo and Deez show.
I'm El Donzo.
I'm Deez.
And we're spreading a little Christmas cheer with the old AC/DC on here today, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
So, let's do a plug for the socials one more time.
Oh, yeah. See, this whole thing's fucked. So, yeah, socials. That's what I normally do this time every week. Facebook.com/EldonzoDeez. Find us on X. Starting to get used to saying that instead of Twitter, but either way, at EldonzoDeez. And, of course, most important of all, where we want your support the most, other than, of course, right here on the radio, is on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/EldonzoDeez. You can find all of these shows as well as our occasional live stream and my sports show, Hanging with Deez.
And you mentioned you can find us on X. If you want to watch the videos, you can go to xvideos.com.
No, not that one.
Wasn't that where it's at? xvideos.com?
No, haven't set up the account there yet.
See, that's how we monetize. That's how we make our money.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you, you don't want to see that. We were talking about Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, our first video is going to be two guys get screwed by a whole city.
Did you say the first video is going to be two guys get screwed by Cities 92.9?
That too, yeah.
Well, I'm going to be getting a call about that, aren't I? All right, so we were talking about Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis, and they're going to have their big debate with Hannity tonight, right?
As we speak, it is currently...
yes, as we speak, as we're recording the show, it's currently going on. Now, I've got some other things I could be doing, like watching gay porn,
like anything else,
sticking my weenie in a meat grinder. I just have no I have no desire to watch two second place guys go at it. Okay.
Second place might be generous to Ron because he just keeps losing steam to Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley is catching up with him pretty good, but she's still 40 points behind Trump.
Bro, yeah, no, don't get me wrong. But again, like I said, before we took the break, I think there's going to be a lot of people in the back rooms of the Democratic Party watching Gavin Newsom very, very closely.
Now, here's what I think about Gavin Newsom. I think Gavin Newsom is probably waiting for Biden to croak.
Well, that could be.
Now,
too,
you said you don't think.
I've been
Biden's
saying this
run.
for months. I don't think Biden's going to run.
Well, wait a minute. It's got to be up to Biden, though. This all has to be up. Here's the thing. This all has to be up to Biden. Biden has to make that decision whether he's going to run or not.
No, the person that's pulling Biden's strings is going to tell Biden what he's going to do. Joe Biden, like I said, Joe
I
Biden
got a question.
is not
Why haven't they
running
told
this.
him now?
Because if they get rid of him now, what happens?
You can get Gavin Newsom in there and get
Not
him
right
campaigning.
Not right now. If they get rid of him now, Kamala takes over. And I don't think anybody in the Democratic Party wants that. I think that she was just a token black person.
She wasn't even black.
Well, but they still use that.
But why wouldn't he announce it now? Why wouldn't he say, I'm not running again?
Because
why wouldn't he do that now?
I still think...
He doesn't have to step down then. He would just announce that I'm not running.
Well,
we need to let somebody else come in there.
I'm saying stay tuned because I think they are, like I said, they're going to watch how Gavin performs tonight.
I'm saying that the Bidens have a lot of sticks on a lot of people. And this stuff with Hunter Biden coming up, where they've subpoenaed him. Have you seen this?
Yeah, but see, here's a little carrot that they can dangle.
Yeah.
You just ride off into the sunset, and we'll make all this go away. And if you think our government isn't that corrupt, then I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. Because,
bro, I am so with you on how corrupt our dude. Nobody can look at what happened with January 6th. There was 200 FBI agents,
and there would be a lot of Republicans that would get on board with that. Just go away, old man, and we'll leave you alone. I mean, what are they going to do to an 80-year-old man anyway? You just want. I mean, I could be wrong, but I am damn near willing to lay money that within 3 months' time or so, Joe's out. Not out of the presidency, but out of the race, and
you
they
think
will shift their focus.
You think within 3 months' time he's going to say, "I'm
3 to 4.
I'm not running
before."
again.
Yes, before spring, early summer, they will. I think that they will make an announcement that whether it's his health or whatever, that he's not going to seek re-election, and he'll be a lame duck until January, and he will put all of his support behind somebody, whether it's Gavin or not, who knows? But I don't think they're going to let him run.
Here's the interesting thing, and we could argue, we could come up with theories all day on this, but at the end of the day, we are in unprecedented territory right now as far as what in the hell is going on with our government. We've never seen this before. This is unheard of. And if you just told anybody 4.5, 5 years ago this would be happening, they wouldn't believe it. And rightfully so. I wouldn't have believed it. When did we start this show? We started it in 2020, right? May of 2020.
Yeah.
If somebody would have called us up and told us that, hey guys, I'm from the future, you're not going to believe this sticks.
Yeah, you think it's bad now.
This is what's going to happen. We'd have been like, you're out of your mind. Because we never would have been able to wrap our minds around it. And
How
that's
sad
the
is
shock
it?
of it.
How sad is it that we can almost call 2020 the good old days compared to where we're at right now?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I mean, you're right.
Horrible as 2020 was, like, I don't know. I think I might take that over what we got now.
You know, and here's the thing, too. So you got Chris Fredo Cuomo coming out and saying that a vote for Trump isn't off the table. And then you got Mitt Romney coming out, which him and Trump haven't gotten along since Trump dissed him back in late 2015, early 2016.
Yeah.
All right. He said he'd rather support a number of Democrats over Trump and Ramaswamy in 2024. Now, look. The number of Democrats, like who are you talking there? Joe Manchin? You got to be specific here. Mm-hmm. I mean, we know you're a swingster here and there, but a number of Democrats over Trump and Ramaswamy. This goes back to what we were talking about. Trump is running for president of the United States, and Trump has a record as president of the United States. You may not like his tweets, you may not like the things he says, but this goes back to nobody gives a damn about social justice warriors at this point. We can't afford to eat. Okay? We are $13,000, the average American, in the hole compared to what we were 4 years ago. Nobody gives a damn. We knew back when Trump was in office, our lives were better. Everything was easier. Everything was cheaper. Everything flowed better. Nobody attacked us. We didn't worry about nuclear war. We didn't worry about World War III. We didn't have people coming over the border in Mexico, which is something else I want to talk about too. Now, this has made headline news. Did you know that Finland has closed its border with Russia completely?
No.
Yeah. Finland, this is, of course, they're a member of NATO, and on Wednesday they closed its last remaining border crossing with Russia after the government decided to seal the entire border with its eastern neighbor. Finnish Prime Minister Petteri Orpo decided to temporarily close the entire 830-mile border due to what he called hybrid warfare. So he is accusing Russia of sending over migrants to infiltrate their country. From Somalia, from Yemen, from Syria, from Pakistan, Iraq, and Ethiopia. 1,000 migrants have crossed over seeking refugee status through Russia into Finland since August. 1,000. And they've closed their border. And they said, hey, we can't do this. Do you know how many migrants, immigrants, whatever you want to call them, whatever status you want to give them, have come across our border since August? 2 million. Right now, we're at 2.8 million crossings. We're not talking legal. We're not talking refugee status. We're talking overall crossings at our border. 2.8 million this year so far on November 30th, as compared to 2.7 for the whole year of 2022.
Not surprised.
No. This stuff wasn't happening when Trump was in office. I'm just saying, people are getting fed up. Now, what are you going to get with Ron DeSantis? Ron DeSantis is a good old boy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd vote for Ron DeSantis if he got the nomination.
Trump light.
Trump light. I'd vote for Nikki Haley. I'd vote for Ramaswamy. I'd
vote for a crusty sock under my bed before I vote for Joe Biden.
Now, if it came down to Chris Christie,
yeah, then I might.
I'm a little torn on that one. I mean, I might be going third party. I mean, I might be looking at RFK Jr. at that point. It's like, we're screwed either way. It doesn't matter at this point.
Without question, yeah, I would go RFK or even Joe Manchin over.
Either way, if Joe Manchin's running, either way is going to hurt because Chris Christie is a turncoat. He's a traitor. Okay, he is. I mean, he's up there with the Rosenbergs, dude. He should just be cast out, just like Mittens Romney. Yeah. Who names their kid Mittens?
Is that his legal first name?
Paul Little Kittens. They lost the mittens. Yeah, that's his legal mittens. I got a word I want to say, but I can't say it on the radio. It starts with a T and ends with a T. There's a W and an A in the middle. It's just I hate Mitt Romney. And we've got Elon Musk is in the news. He kind of told somebody to go shove it where the sun don't shine, pretty much, right?
Yeah, he certainly did. As you may or may not know, he got in a little hot water over a quote tweet that, of course, was taken way out of context. And he's an anti-Semite, blah blah blah, and not the case at all. I think Elon Musk is one of the pretty most even keel people around. But anyway, basically, he all these big companies like Disney, Marvel, all that stuff that used to be,
which they've ran their course.
Yeah, we talked about it I believe on the live stream about how a lot of these big names are no longer on Twitter anymore. Disney being one of the big ones, and they're boycotting. So they're not going to pay for advertising or whatever. And Musk was being interviewed by Andrew Ross Sorkin. And, this is what was said.
Roll clip.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f*** yourself. But go f*** yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
Oh,
what do you mean?
It's playing again. I could almost hear that again, though. That was so good.
Yeah, basically, I don't need your money.
Elon, what was that comedian? And I can't remember the comedian that said Elon Musk has go F you money.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got, yep, absolutely.
He doesn't need their money.
He bought X for $46 billion.
They paid like $150 a share, didn't he?
And he's still the richest man in the world. So yeah, he doesn't need Disney's money. X is doing just fine. And for him to come out and publicly say that, A, is hilarious. And B, it's like, so what? Like, this is, whether you like it or not, yes, some of the stuff on there might, definitely offends people, but it's free speech in its greatest form. And for him to just say, whatever, I don't need your money, go F yourself. I applaud that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I do too. I like somebody that can't be bought. And obviously, Elon Musk, I think, would probably live in a refrigerator box on the streets if it meant him not kowtowing to the establishment.
Well, we already know that when he was traveling back and forth between Texas and California, or whether it's for SpaceX or like when he bought Twitter, I know that he was like sleeping on a friend's couch. I mean, this is a guy that could buy the grandest hotel wherever he's at, not get a room, buy the hotel, but instead he's just, hey man, let me bum on your couch for a few days while I'm here on business.
Hey, good for him. Yeah. I mean, no, seriously, good for him. It's a good feeling when he can't be bought, because I like to think of myself in the same terms. Maybe not on that grandiose scale, but if I say I'm not going to do something, I'm not going to do it. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about Elon Musk. Can't be bought. Now, here's somebody that's back in the news, and Deez has been waiting all week for me to get to the story.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
You're not going anywhere. Now, just stop. Now, I know you have a love affair with that young, stupid girl, Greta Thunberg. Thunberg.
No, the only reason she's in the news is because people like you keep bringing her up.
No, she's in the news because she's putting herself in her news, dumbass. That's why she's in the news.
No,
she could just go back to Sweden.
Idiots in the media keep putting her on TV. She is
what do you think?
meaningless.
Why is okay? I got a question. Why is Joe Biden still in the news?
Well, he's the
Yeah,
president
why?
of the United States.
Well,
What is
Greta
Greta Thunberg? She's nothing.
She's a little stick stir. Is what
She's
she is.
nothing.
Yet she. Oh yes, she is. She's leading some of the biggest.
She's content. They put her on because she's content. Because people
And
like
I don't
you
like her.
are just sitting there with your mouths open, waiting for Mama to get a squeeze from the old teat.
I don't like her. Is that
exactly?
okay?
Yes.
I don't like the fact
Rent
that they've
free
no.
right next door
No.
to old Fetterberg.
Well, I'm going to tell you something
Right
about
down
old
the
Fetterberg.
hall
I'm going to tell you
from
something about that.
old
Let me tell you
what's-his-nuts.
something. But let me tell you something there, boy. Let me tell you something about old Fetterburgers. Okay, I actually read a story.
Did I just call him Fetterberg?
Yeah, you did. Fetterman. I thought that was a joke. I thought you say Fetterburgers.
No, I didn't. I'm just an
John
idiot.
Fetterwoman. Okay. Well, let me tell you something about John Fetterman. John Fetterman actually got in the face of these pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas protesters, wrapped himself in a flag and laughed at them while the police were dragging them away.
Yeah, no,
So I got to give it to Fetterman on that.
Yeah, he is. He's earned a few kudos.
He's
here
actually
lately.
stood up. Now, I'm not telling you I love the guy and I'm going to vote for him or not. I don't support him. But hey, I got to give it to him. The
Yeah, I
guy's
still
standing
think
his
he's
ground.
mentally unfit to serve in the United States Congress, but at least he is doing what's right. I'll give credit where credit's due.
I got to stand up and do it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't know who's paying him to be right, but he's doing it. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, they're both on a spectrum. On the other side of the spectrum, you have Greta Thunberg. Now, she of course made her name she was an environmentalist, anti-fossil fuels, and then she was anti-capitalism. I should drive Arnold Schwarzenegger's electric Humvee across the country. All this stupid other sticks.
She's just another David Hogue. Just
She is, but
a
that's
little twit that the media is using
But
as
here's
a poster
the thing: she
child.
comes out. Look at it this way. I have a point to this. She starts out anti-fossil fuel. When you have somebody going and speaking to the World Economic Forum and places like this, and being paraded around our country and paraded around NATO. All right, they're going to make news because they have people that follow them. That's my point to this,
Yeah.
Deez. It's not that she's just some twit on the street that's homeless and babbling. She gets a lot of attention. She gets a lot of financial backing from the leaders of our country and the leaders of our world.
No,
So
they definitely created a monster.
they did.
Yeah.
They used this poor girl who's got issues, just like they used Joe Biden. Now, the latest one, and now she's anti-Semitic. So, she was, okay, check this out. She was in Stockholm, and she was participating in this pro-Palestinian they call it anti-Zionism. It's anti-Semitism. And she was chanting Krossa Zionismen, which is crush Zionism. I'm going to play a clip. It's a short clip, but this is her real quick. Here we go. Now, there's also stuff from the river to the sea. Now, why this is so important to me, Deez, is the governments are taking people like this and propping them up and getting youth support for this bull sticks. That's what the issue is. I can either like her or dislike her. There's people out on the streets a mile away from me I can like or dislike. They don't live rent-free in my head. This really bothers me. They take this young lady that's got a lot of mental issues, okay, and prop her up.
Yeah.
No, Sam Brinton. Remember I used to talk about Sam Brinton all the time, the weirdo in the Biden administration that was in charge of getting
we
rid
all
of the
know who
nuclear-
Sam Brinton is.
We all know who Sam Brinton is, okay? That was a live free in my head because he's just an idiot. He's not being used by him. He's just an idiot. This is one of those things, I don't like what's going on. I don't like it. It's being used to fuel this stuff. It's being used to fuel this stuff on campuses. Now, look what I'm going to do. I'm going to step away. It's like that Led Zeppelin song, I Can't Quit You, Baby. Well, I just quit. See, I just can't. I just got rid of it. What do you think about that, Jack?
For now.
What?
She'll be back.
She'll be back. She always comes back. She's like a bad dream or a wet fart. All right, did you hear about Jimmy Fallon?
Herpes, just can't get rid of it.
Yeah, that's right. Did you hear about Jimmy Fallon going after the Hunger Games star? Well, I say going after. That's how it's written. What do you think about that young lady right there?
Which one?
That one right there. I'm pulling this up.
What's her name? I don't have my glasses on.
Her name is Hunter.
All right, I don't know who that is. Anyway, I've never seen the Hunger Games.
You've never seen the Hunger Games?
No.
Okay, well she's a new guest in this Hunger Games, and her name is Hunter something. I can't find it in here. Hunter Schafer.
Okay. Anyway,
what do you think
about
of her?
Well, again, don't have glasses on, but it appears that she's an attractive young lady.
Okay, well she's a boy.
What?
And she's a boy. That's a boy. That's a man.
You got me.
How long's it been since you took the test?
Again, don't have my glasses on.
Hey,
You're
I'm not gonna
asking me
lie. If I saw that chick at a bar, I'd probably pick her up
I'm
too.
8 feet away from your screen. It's a little fuzzy, so yeah. It's
She was born a biological man. It's a dude. Okay, it's a dude. It's a good looking dude, but it's a dude. She's a good looking dude. He's a good looking chick. Whatever. I know I'm digging myself a hole here, aren't I?
Yes.
So
yes,
anyway,
very much so.
Jimmy Fallon, while they're looking at a picture of him dressed up as a character from the Hunger Games while he was younger. Okay, now he's in the Hunger Games, so they're talking about that, and he calls her Bud. Like, oh, hey, Bud. Like, hey, buddy. Like, hey, Bud. And it really pissed off the trans community.
Oh, wow.
That he would actually, he said, congratulations, Bud. So, which is the average girl loves fall. Let me see this. As if I didn't have a reason enough to hate Fallon, he takes this opportunity to show that he doesn't see Hunter as a beautiful, immaculate queen sitting before him. To my cis readers, I hope you don't see this as an overreaction. Bud Buddy's unquestionably male-coded. You know what else is male-coded? The God's Own Show. We'll be right back after these commercial massages. And we've got a couple stories coming up for you. There's one I want to get to real quick, though. That Marjorie Taylor Greene, we talk about her every now and again. And she's just a zero F's given person. Would you agree with that, Deez?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, she says some stuff that's like, well, you know, but she wanted to pass an amendment that it failed to pass in the House. And, of course, she's been dead-naming Rachel Levine, whose real name is Richard Levine, the Admiral for the Health and Assistant Secretary of Health and Human Services and all this other stuff, which is obviously, if you have gender dysphoria, you have a mental illness, but she's the Admiral of Health for the United States, which just doesn't make any sense to me. Of course, Richard Levine wants to pass all this BS and get all these kids to transition, chop off their wieners and their hooters and put them on puberty blockers and everything. No, it should be banned. You shouldn't be able to do that to somebody under 18. I mean, at a minimum, and I think it's sick even if parents do that, the parents should be in charge of it. So Marjorie Taylor Greene just doesn't care. And she doesn't care what she says. And once again, she gets into Trump territory with that sometimes, but I kind of like it. It's kind of refreshing. She said this, and I quote, and this just made me cackle. And we're not going to do a whole segment on this. We could, but we're not going to. But on this whole transgender bull sticks thing. But before the amendment failed on Wednesday, she targeted Levine on the House floor, and she said, "My amendment uses the Holman Rule to castrate the salary of Assistant Secretary of Health Levine to $1." The fact she threw castrate in there, I loved it. Green continued, Levin was a diversity hire by the Biden administration to push a demonic gender-affirming care agenda, which is what it is. And she also claimed that he is unfit to serve as the HHS Assistant Secretary for Health, and accused Levin of focusing on grooming children, adolescents, and young adults. I don't know how anybody can argue against that. This is one of those things where you hear these people, these Bill Gateses and these higher-ups in the government want to talk about population control. What better way to control population than tell all these kids they're gay and transition them to an opposite sex? I mean, think about that. They don't care. They don't give a damn about the kids, D's. They don't.
No.
This is sickening. This is absolutely sickening. And there's nothing wrong in the world if these people are doing this to your kids and telling them this, to at least let them get to the point of somewhat of a sexual maturity before they can make a decision to, mutilate themselves. You remember in Africa? We don't. Do you remember when we were in Africa, D's? No, I'm not saying that. There was a thing in Africa about genital mutilation amongst women, where they would cut off the. I think it was it the labia? Was it they would? What was it? What am I thinking of here? It was.
I have no idea.
Circumcising the lady parts. They would remove those when the children were young. And it was gender mutilation, and all the liberals were up in it, which they should be. That's not right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for that. I'm not standing up for that. I couldn't. Okay, that's wrong on so many levels. But they were flipping out that these young ladies from Africa or these African countries were having this done. And now look at us. 20 years later, we're doing it here. We're doing the equivalent to our children.
Yep.
So, hey, good on Marjorie Taylor Greene for just coming out and having, 0 F's given and whatnot. So, anyway, Deez, go ahead. You had something you wanted to get to.
Yeah, this so Deadspin it's a rag. Let's just call it what it is. But anyway, there's a reporter on there that is basically getting roasted internet wide for a recent story where he basically called this. He didn't know anyway that at least that's what he said, whether it was a teen or young man or an adult, for being racist in two ways. One, by having blackface, and two, by having a Indian headrest on. And it was just unbelievable that this, was allowed in a public place. And what he's talking about is a 9-year-old kid who is of Native American descent, at a Kansas City Chiefs football game, wearing face paint, not blackface. He had half his face black, the other half red, wearing a Chiefs jersey, literally sitting like in the first few rows, doing the tomahawk chop. Like, is it that bad as far as trying to get content that you have to pick this young 9-year-old kid and ruin or try to ruin him and his family's lives by calling them racist when he's just cheering on his favorite football team? Like,
now, I can't remember
how
who was
stupid.
What was her name? Karen that did that? Something Karen, or it was a Karen. I think was the name of the person that initiated that.
The one that wrote the story.
Yeah.
Phillips something Phillips. There it is. Yeah, it is Carron.
Yeah, Karen, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Did you see Dan Bongino's response to this?
No.
Dan Bongino did a show yesterday with his face painted half black and half red and a headdress on, and told him to pretty much stick it up their ass sideways.
Nice.
I mean, you got to give it to Bongino on
well,
that.
And I guess that there are a big social media push among Chiefs fans that are telling basically everybody that's coming to their next home game, which might be Sunday. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, for the next Chiefs home game, they want everybody to come wearing red and black face paint.
Good, as it should be.
To, support this kid who, like I said, And
it turned out the kid was Native American, too. Had Native American heritage.
Native American descent.
Well,
The father
idiots.
even said, like, it's too late for an apology. Like, it's absolutely insane the amount of negative attention that they've brought on this family for just supporting a football team.
And how old was the kid?
9.
9 years old.
Yes.
9 years old. You're going to go after a 9-year-old kid for supporting a football team? Screw you.
Yep.
I don't know any other words. Well, I do know some better words I could put it in, but I'm not going to do that because we're on the radio. We have to be responsible. But yeah, pretty much screw you is what I have to say to that.
Yep. It's just, like I said, it's sad that that's where we are, where you're just so hungry for content that this is how low you stoop to get a story out and basically try and ruin this kid's life.
So I guess speaking about ruining a kid's life, like it wasn't bad enough. Kyle Rittenhouse, okay, who is, we know, we go back to 2020, he was in the riots in Wisconsin, Kenosha, and he shot 3 guys, killed 2 of them, wounded pretty badly another one. Okay, he has AR-15. He was going there. His family or a friend of the family had a car dealership. They were rioting. They were burning it down. You know, a lot of arguments can be made that Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have been there. But you know what? A lot of arguments can be made, especially on my side, that none of these people should have been trying to burn down the city. Had they not done it, this was a reaction to an action.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what this was. So Rittenhouse goes on with dipsticks, Piers Morgan. And Morgan decides to ask him, "You've killed 2 human beings and wounded a 3rd. I just wonder how that feels." Well, he acted in self-defense. He makes it sound like he's Jeffrey Dahmer out there killing these people.
Yeah.
So, you know, Rittenhouse was actually pretty tactful about this. He goes, "I don't think that's an appropriate question to ask how it feels. It's not an easy thing to do. It's something I live with every single day. It's nightmares I have. It's something that I have to deal with. I have to deal with the PTSD and the trauma from having to do that." So, Piers Morgan redirected the conversation onto Rittenhouse's emotions and the forthcoming book he intends to publish, and he started probing the kid about making money from the tragic story. Rittenhouse replied, "I'm not writing the book to make money. I'm writing the book to tell the story of what happened. I'm trying to change a narrative that media keeps putting out there that I'm some type of white supremacist, racist person when that's just not true." He went on, I'm a 20-year-old kid who was put in a situation to where I was forced to defend myself, and I'm writing to put that into a book. Now, at some point, Piers asked him, what right did you have to be out there with a gun? And this is where I absolutely lost it. Gage Grosskreutz, the twit that was going to murder Kyle Rittenhouse, the last one to come up to Kyle Rittenhouse, the last one in the Kenosha hat trick, as I like to call it, had a pistol and was going to shoot Kyle Rittenhouse, and that's why Kyle Rittenhouse shot him in the arm in self-defense. Gage Grosskreutz was a felon. What right did Gage Grosskreutz have there to burn the city and riot, and what right did he have to have a firearm? Nobody asked those questions.
Right.
Hey, welcome back to the El Donzo and D Show. You're on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. I'm El Donzo.
I'm Deez.
And now we go over to story time with Uncle Deez. Deez, take her away.
There are many, many terrible, terrible ways to die. Like, what's your worst possible way you can think of?
Chi-Chi. Maybe for an after-hours show. Probably burning to death.
All right.
And folks, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea where he's going with this.
Where would you rank being pulled headfirst into a wood chipper? Pretty high, I would think.
Pretty high, but I don't know if it'd be burning to death.
Sadly, that happened Tuesday. A Virginia man died, pulled headfirst into a wood chipper while trimming trees at a residential home.
How?
They aren't really sure yet. The accident happened around 11:30 a.m. outside of a home.
OSHA's going to be pissed.
Right. Well, a tree trimming crew was working. Smith County News and Messenger reported the man's identity was not immediately released. They might take a minute to identify him. They said no one on the crew saw what happened, but that caused him to get pulled into the heavy machinery, though he noted it appeared to be an accident. That's just one of those, like...
He must
just speculating. I'm saying that something was caught and he reached.
It had to be his shirt sleeve or something. He reached in there doing some dumbass thing.
The branch snagged his sleeve or something.
Yeah, it had to be sleeve is what stands out. Whether he had long hair, I don't know. Speculation at this point, but
well, it is November and Virginia is not necessarily a super warm climate, so he's probably wearing long sleeves. I would say that, like I said, something got caught. He reached in and it caught either a glove or a shirt sleeve or something, and those things are just... he didn't feel anything. That's how quick those things operate, and...
I don't know. I mean, he probably felt something. I don't know.
Less than a
his
second.
Arms in, I mean, he had to have known what's going on. It wasn't like... when the Titan submersible imploded, you would have known what was going on. I mean, he had to have been, I don't know. Anyway, hey, it is what it is. It's unfortunate, though, that happened.
Yeah,
but,
very
it's
sad, but man.
I don't mean to get on a safety tangent, but that's why you got to watch having loose-fitting clothing.
Yeah, OSHA is definitely going to want to take a look at that equipment.
Well, somebody should, because that shouldn't be happening. But... Well, I thought that was going to be a cheery story. I was like, what's the worst way to die?
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody.
Being chased off a cliff by 30 naked women, that'd be pretty cool, but I didn't. Wow, what a downer. Okay, move on to something else. Come on, Deez, what do you got?
Couple horrified to discover that they've been drinking toilet water for 6 months. Thirsty?
No, not really.
A couple in Beijing, China, were appalled to learn that they'd been drinking toilet water for 6 months after moving into their new apartment. Man who prefers to be referred to only as Mr. Tan and his unidentified
clan
girlfriend began experiencing strange health issues. Yeah, I bet. Shortly after their move-in back in May, both developed an unexplained cough, while Tan even claimed to lose hair and develop acne. While Tan realized he hadn't paid a water bill in 6 months, and yet the $1,400 a month rental continued to receive water, he began to get suspicious. So he ran some tests with the water meters and noticed something wasn't right. When the couple ran water in the apartment, the number on the meter didn't increase. Deciding it was time to consult the pros, the couple called a plumber, and that's when the shocking discovery was made. An extra pipe that had gone unnoticed allegedly linked the toilet and tap water pipes.
Well, now, wait a minute. Okay, when you're talking toilet water, I was thinking somebody was like taking water bottles and dumping them in clean toilet. Well, clean toilet, taking toilet water out of the tank. You're telling me that the sticks they flushed down was going into their drinking water?
That's the way I'm reading
it. Well, how
do
you not taste that?
Well, you would think, but...
I
mean, toilet water, like the water line that comes into the toilet, is the same water that you were drinking out of the tap if you're drinking out of the tap. Now, if that's the case, then there's a water issue there. But the fact that, like they said, the water meter was never going up. So...
There were...
Yeah.
What a bunch of morons.
Yeah, uh-huh.
How can you not taste that?
I don't know. Maybe
they were drinking their own sticks.
Maybe they, I don't know, healthy diet.
Well, that was like, you remember the gal
obviously
that
not too healthy because they got sick. But
do you remember the gal that went missing in the San Francisco? I can't remember the name of the hotel. The
Yep.
A couple years ago.
Yep.
And she went missing. They couldn't find her, and then residents started complaining about the taste of the water, and it was brown. Well, she fell in the water tank.
Yeah,
she was decomposing in there.
Yep.
Like even they're like, well, this is
wasn't it for a couple months that she was up there?
Yeah, I watched it was at least a couple weeks. Yeah,
there was a documentary on Netflix about that, about the disappearance and everything, big murder investigation.
Boy, I would toss my cookies in a heartbeat.
Oh God, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, ugh, nasty.
Yeah,
nasty stuff.
Got a little bad taste in my mouth.
Well, get the bad taste out of your mouth and go into the last.
You remember
story.
Good old Family Feud back when Richard Dawson was there?
Yeah, oh yeah, Richard Dawson. Yeah, he loved to kiss people, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And now it's been revealed in a new book that when guests came on the show, prior to the show, they would have to basically take a herpes test. So that he would know whether or not it was safe to lock lips.
If Richard Dawson came up and started kissing my wife on the show, I'd smack him.
Yeah. So, but to be fair, in order to keep everyone's sanitary tests for oral sores went down on set for both male and female contestants, they had to undergo a mouth test with a magnifying glass from a medical distaff.
I would have been like, I don't want Richard Dawson kissing me.
Either that or I would have drawn like some fake cold sores or something like.
Yeah, put super glued some rice on your lips, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, hey, you gonna give me a kiss, Richard? Hey, Dickie.
To be fair, he was kissing them all though. Old, young.
Nasty old man he was. Nasty old man. You know who else are nasty old man? El Donzo and D's. And we got to get out of here and do some nastiness. We'll be right back.
I'm going to bed.
You're going to bed. Right back here on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of limits normal. Next Saturday, baby. This is El Donzo out.
Yeah.